Today I'm going to show you how I turned this really cool elm bowl. I got this piece of elm from Surrey Timbers and had it for about a month, but I finally got round to turning it. I started out by roughing it to round using my round scraper. The grain on this piece of elm was lovely, so I made sure to get a really nice shape to the bowl in order to keep hold of all that lovely grain pattern. I just bought a new bench grinder, which has been a massive addition to the workshop. As you can see, this bowl is turning so much quicker than usual. Apologies for this bit not being voiced over, but I usually have a nice noise when the lathe spins. It doesn't make horrible noises, but I was getting this horrible knocking noise and it was really concerning me, like something was loose in the lathe. So I spent about half an hour trying to work out what on earth it was. I've tried all the bolts everywhere. I then realised inside here, where the spindle is, there's a little grub screw, and if I just take this off, just there, and that screw was really loose, so essentially what was happening was it was rocking back and forth, causing a knocking noise. So if any of you guys had that problem, check all the bolts, and it usually ends up being a bolt that's loose. Also, as I'm now talking as well, this is the elm bowl I'm turning. There's a horrible crack along here, so I'm not sure how deep it goes, but it appears out here as well. It's like that whole chunk, so this might not be salvageable. We'll see. It will be salvageable, but we might not get the type of bowl I'm aiming for. This is meant to be for Pot-pourri, so as a gift for someone along with that chopping board. Anyway, just a quick interlude from me there, just to explain that. Let's get back onto turning. As you just saw, this bowl had a rather big crack in it, and I didn't want to have a crack through the bowl. So instead of making a large bowl, I made this a medium-sized bowl, which wasn't what I was intending, but it still turned out perfectly nice. With this bowl, I didn't have it converge to much of a point. I just left it as quite a natural shape to it, and I really liked the way I did that. I then turned the lathe towards me in order to give me greater access for hollowing out the bowl. With a sharp tool, it made it so much quicker hollowing out the bowl, and I could take much deeper passes as the tool didn't catch so much as it had a sharper edge to it. As you can see, the shavings were coming out so quick here. It only took me about 10-15 minutes to hollow out the whole of the bowl. As I've previously discussed when turning bowls, this tool rest is fine for smaller bowls, but I do think I need to get an S-shaped tool rest in order to help me turn the inside of a bowl much easier, because it means you can get a sharper angle of attack to the bowl and means you won't catch the bowl as much. And I also think having a longer tool rest, something like 300mm, would be way better for doing spindle projects, as I'm going to be doing quite a few spindle projects across the next 2 weeks, as I'm going to be making a replica wooden cannon. My wood turning wax finish, which is Woodturner's Blend, will be launching somewhere in mid-July, so if you haven't taken a look at the Instagram page for that, I'll link it below. The Etsy store should launch somewhere in the middle of July, and I'll notify you guys when it goes live. Woodturner's Blend isn't a food safe finish, so that's why you still see me using Chestnut Products food safe finish on the inside of my bowls. Although maybe one day I'll make a food safe finish, but for now I'm perfectly happy with just having a finish that I can use on the outside of the bowl to give an ultra deluxe finish. I then sanded with 120 grit, 180 grit, 240 grit and 400 grit, as I do on all my bowls. I then applied Woodturner's Blend to the outside of the bowl and buffed it off, and applied some food safe finish to the inside of the bowl so it could be used for food. Sometimes I part the bowls off, but on this occasion I decided to cut it due to the elm being quite a dusty wood to turn, and I didn't want to ruin the finish that I'd just applied, so instead I cut it off using my tenon saw. I then used my Bosch sander to sand the bottom of the bowl in order to make it perfectly flat, and then I applied one layer of Chestnut Products food safe finish to the bottom of the bowl. And that was the whole project finished. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and feel free to share this video around.